Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. We're going to be talking about scale drawings in this video. What are scale drawings? They are representative of something either smaller or larger in the real world, and they represent that thing in a proportional way. Some common scale drawings would be maps or blueprints. A map of the United States is, of course, a smaller representation of the United States. However, everything on that map is proportional to how it really is in real life. Blueprints are another good example. Here's an example of a blueprint of an apartment where we have all of our rooms squared off, and we have the dimensions of the blueprint in inches on here, so it shows you every room, what the dimensions would be, and then we have what's known as a scale down here at the bottom of our blueprint. The scale is a ratio that compares the dimensions on the scale drawing to the real life dimensions. So we can see here our scale is that 1 inch equals 20 feet. So every 1 inch on this blueprint is equal to 20 feet. So right here, this wall would actually be 20 feet in real life. This wall would actually be 40 feet. Over here, this wall would be 10 feet, and so on. All right. So how do we get those real life numbers given our scale? We would either be multiplying or dividing, depending on what it is you're trying to find. So in this case, we multiplied because we are given our dimensions in inches and we're trying to find our feet. So we multiply the inches by the feet. If we had like measurements in feet and we were trying to find how many inches they would be on the blueprint, say like there's a wall that's 20 feet in real life and we want to make a blueprint with the scale of 1 inch to 20 feet, how many inches will it be on the blueprint? In that case, we would be dividing to find out how many inches. All right, moving on. Here we have a map of the United States. And our scale down here shows us that 1 inch on this map is equal to 557 miles in real life. So let's apply this. If El Paso is 1 inch from Houston on the map, how many miles is that in real life? So we start with our scale from the map. 1 inch equals 557 miles. And we are going to multiply that. We're going to multiply that by the information we're given in the problem. So we are given inches and we want to find how many feet. All right. So we're going to set this up just the same way we would set up a proportion to solve. All right. So cross multiply and divide. 557 times 1 divided by 1. So 557 miles. That one was probably a no-brainer. Next, if Memphis is 3 inches from Seattle on the map, how many miles is that in real life? So once again, start with your scale. All right, so this time Memphis is 3 inches from Seattle, and we're still looking for our miles. So we're going to cross multiply. 557 times 3. And let's not bother with dividing by 1. So 557 times 3, let's do it the lazy way. We've got 1,671 miles. All right. Jacksonville is 1.5 inches from New York on the map. So how many miles is that in real life? So go back to our trusty scale, 557. So 1.5 inches, and we are trying to figure out the miles. So once again, we're going to do 557 times 1.5. And that will give us 835.5 miles. All right, last problem we're going to do together. If San Jose is 278.5 miles from Los Angeles in real life. How many inches is that on the map? All right, this one's a little bit different. They're giving us the real life miles, and we want to find out how many inches it'll be on the map. So let's set up our scale. Remember that when you're setting up your ratios, you want to stay consistent with the order. So the scale, so far we've always written it as inches over miles, inches over miles. And so this ratio has always been inches over miles. So we're going to do the same thing here, all right? Inches is what we're trying to find, so we're going to label that X. And the miles they give us is 278.5 miles. So what we would do then is we would cross multiply and divide just the same as we have been. So 1 times 278.5 is 278.5. So you can kind of skip that step. So 278.5 then, we are going to divide by 557. $278.5 divided by 557. It's going to give us a half an inch, 0.5 inches, or a half an inch. Okay, so that's my tutorial on scale drawings and how you use a scale on a map.